Friends, those candidates who are in a comfortable zone of around 70 marks in UPSC prelims definitely shall start preparing for mains. And in this video, me along with some of our expert faculty and our rankers, for example, Ajay Gupta has got a good rank in UPSC Civils examination and also IFOS examination this year. Even Vasanthi last year she got IFOS rank. And we have Shrikant sir, Hari sir, who attempted multiple mains and went to UPSC interview. So we'll be discussing about how best we can make use of next 2.5 months so that you can score very good marks in UPSC mains. Next 2.5 months is a game changer for UPSC mains exam. So what kind of support are you providing? How shall you practice mains answer writing? What kind of value addition you have to make? What kind of resources you have to use? The kind of revision, kind of notes making, balancing between general studies, optional, and how overall you have to maximize the score. Let us discuss about all those things in this video. So firstly, as UPSC prelims this year has been quite different from last few years, we can expect a similar kind of unpredictable way of asking questions in mains. However, mains or prelims fundamentally tests the conceptual knowledge, general awareness that a candidate has got on the basic concepts of polity, history, geography, economy, environment, etc., along with current affairs. So now, firstly, Ajay, if you observe, in UPSC mains, some candidates always score very good marks in prelims continuously. But in mains, generally they stop at average. We call it as the average. Those candidates who get average marks in all subjects generally cannot get to interview. You have to get good marks at least in few papers, in GS 1, 2, 3, 4, essay or optional. So Ajay, tell me, what are the common mistakes you observed candidates do in the next 2.5 months? And how from our academy, Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, the program that we designed is called Mains Mentorship Program, where we focus on theme-based answer writing, how to make the framework of mains answers, and how to do value addition. So tell me, what are the common mistakes done by the candidates in next 2.5 months, and how our program is going to support them in going in right direction by avoiding the common mistakes.
So the major mistake which I think we make as a aspirant for the mains, one is that not able to put our content information, whatever we have collected for that particular time topic, as per the demand of the question. Either we are fulfilling the half of the demand or completely missing the demand. So those are the major problems. Second is, sir, when we have 5 to 6 points, the prioritization of the points also becomes very important. If we miss that, also can reduce the marks of, let's say, half marks, 1 mark, like that. Third thing which I feel is that reading more but practicing less. Until and unless we are not able to replicate our content information on the paper, that is not going to convert into the marks. So the practice becomes very important, which what happens is that we generally tend to, during this time, finishing the syllabus, reading that goes more. And lastly, sir, some value addition is required. Not like the heavily you are focusing on the value addition. Basic concept is the top priority. That is the king part. But some value addition, like example, 1 or 2 data per answer can help you to make your answer more mature. Our program, as you mentioned, like which we have designed, that the Mains Mentorship Program, it is going to help in the 3 things, the initial top 3 things, the problem which I shared. Number 1 is that understanding the demand of the question. Second is the prioritization of the our points, and the third is the answer writing. These 3 are the top focus for our program, because as a mentor, I have written 4 mains. Hari sir has also written more than 5 mains. Ma'am has cleared the mains as well as written multiple mains. So we all have that experience. Like we are not like the first time rankers, right? We have failed, we have improved, and then we got to know, okay, so this is the mistake we are making, and then we have improved, and I have we all have done that improvement.
And for that, I want one point. Ajay Gupta improved his main score consistently over the last 4 years. Last year went to interview, before year went to interview, and this year he has got extremely good marks in general studies and essay writing, because of which he got a very good rank in civil services. Yeah.
So our mentors will be able to provide the feedback to the student whether they are addressing the demand of the question. Secondly, are they able to prioritize the point? Thirdly, are they able to practice the enough questions? And lastly, sir, which I said, like the some value addition, and we will help you to limit also your content, not to make too much clumsy answers. So these all things are the part of personal mentorship and the evaluation, which can help, I think, the students to improve. I got that in the last year, and that helped me a lot to improve my answer. So, sir, at the crux, what we are providing is that we are not making the student loaded with the information that you should add this also, that also. But whatever he or she's existing knowledge, we will help them to put that as per the demand of the question and with the proper priority, so that unnecessary content you are not writing. You are writing to the point, well presented as per the demand of the question. I think that can fetch us top marks.
Exactly. Actually, what Ajay said, most of the evaluators in the market in Delhi or Hyderabad, wherever, the biggest mistake which I observed is that evaluators always want to add more points to the answer. A candidate already has developed enough knowledge on the subject in the last 1 or 2 years. Based on that knowledge, he will be providing an answer for the question. If evaluators keep on adding more information to the answer, the candidate will start looking for more information. Next 2.5 months, he will waste his time only in gathering information in the name of value addition. Rather than that, like how Ajay Gupta said, Ajay Gupta, me, Shrikant, Vasanti, Harish, other faculty members, we all will be evaluating the papers in next 2.5 months. Our content team has all prepared very good questions. By analyzing the UPSC trends, mains trend of last 4 to 5 years, we made excellent questions for next 2.5 months, subject-wise and overall paper-wise. And students enroll themselves in this program, they will be writing all the answers in 2 formats. One, we make them write 5 questions every day, 1 format. Another, once in 4 days, they write full-length exam. Once they write the examination, we evaluate it instantly, because when the answers are fresh in the mind of student, we have to evaluate immediately, give them the feedback. In that feedback, our specialty is that instead of adding more information points, we will tell him whether he addressed demand of question, like how Ajay said, whether he prioritizes the points, did he integrate current affairs, was he able to tell his suggestion or opinion very clearly, was he able to explain the context of the question in the introduction, was he able to write the point very briefly, concisely in 1 or 2 lines, so that he can address more dimensions in the answer. How to improve 1 mark in that answer with existing knowledge only, with the same points, how to present it in better way, maybe tabular format, maybe flowchart, maybe drawing some maps, maybe highlighting few things, maybe keeping some side headings. This is what we have to improve for a student. Just telling the student to learn more information, add more points will not go anywhere, because even if you learn 1000 points, there will be 1001 point in UPSC Mains. This is what we focus, because of which Ajay Gupta last year was able to practice in the same way, because of which he got a good rank, Vasanti in the same way. That's the reason why even Shrikant and Harish got very good marks in the mains. So now see, coming to trend, if you observe the trend of UPSC Mains, so Shrikant's history, coming to their history, what is happening is, people think history is factual. However, in GS1, 2025 and 24, GS1 scores were less, and history weightage was more compared to geography and sociology. So tell me, tell to the candidates how they have prepared history for the next 2.5 months, how they should focus, what kind of things they have to prepare for mains, and how to write the answer to score very good marks in history.
So exactly, sir, what you said is, so majority people who are cracking the prelims not able to score good marks in the GS paper 1 because of the various reasons, sir. First of all, they are roughly studying about the history. I mean to say, there is clear mentioning about the ancient medieval only on the art and culture, whereas the vast syllabus of the history, especially Indian history as well as the world history, they are failing to focus, emphasizing on the issues. For example, you take the last year where the questions are asking regarding the Harappan art and architecture, regarding the Mahatma Jyoti Babule question, and especially the Khajuraho art and architecture, as well as the Akbar's religious syncretism policy. All these issues are in the actually limelight. So they are completely studying the entire syllabus, majorly lacking the focusing on the issues which are in the limelight. The question why they asked on the Harappan architecture is, there is a site called Khiladi site located in Tamil Nadu, where there is a rigorous way of excavation was conducted, and they assumed that it is a site related to the Harappan culture. And the script which is undeciphered till now is giving a clue to the archaeologists regarding the any major relevant for the decipherment of the script, and that is the reason UPSC focused the Harappan architecture issue which is in the limelight. And next thing is, and the last year there is a controversy is erupted with related to the Akbar, who known for the religious tolerance, but the NCERT there is a controversy that Akbar's religious bigot there is somewhat mentioning and regarding it. So hence Akbar, who is known for the religious tolerance, hence they directly asked the question about the Akbar's syncretism religious policy. And next thing is, you take the in 2024 the Khajuraho dance festival celebrated the 50 years. Hence the question asked in the 2025 means directly, because in the ancient medieval only art and culture syllabus is there. And next thing is, even the medieval modern questions, even the world history question is also very much relevant to the current affairs related topic, because the last year if you take the 2025 mains, the world history question which related to the French Revolution, where the July 14th the Bastille event which is related to the French Revolution, where the Pondicherry students conducted a procession by wearing the torchlights and all. So all these issues are in the limelight. And what these people are doing is, the aspirants generally they are roughly studying about the syllabus and not focusing on emphasizing on the issues which are in the limelight. So my point here is, yes, you studied the entire syllabus without leaving any stone left, but please focus on the limelight issues which may be give you an edge for you. And next thing is, please stick to the keywords which are mentioning in the UPSC question. That means what, they are roughly writing the question by what they know in the information. They are missing the keywords. For example, I meant to say, question is exceptionally giving about the critically analyze, elucidate, comment. So these kind of keywords are, they are not carrying it, and they are roughly giving the answers to the questions. So that should not be the criteria. It must be meeting the demand of the question keywords. So that is what. So taking some kind of these very very small steps, definitely I can say it will be given very edge to you, especially scoring in the GS1 papers.
So like how Srikanth told just now, in our program also, next 2.5 months, the mains test series mentorship program that we are conducting offline Hyderabad and online in this program also, just like how Srikanth prepares questions of history, all our faculty who prepare the questions, mains questions, they keep in mind what are the relevant topics that can come in this year UPSC mains based on the current affairs, based on the 100th anniversary, 15th anniversary, based on the president's speech, Prime Minister's speech, based on international happenings. So that's the reason why when we give out the questions to the candidates to practice, we ensure that most of them may come in the UPSC mains. We call it as most probable questions, expected questions. That is the reason why candidates who practice our mains test series, who write their answers, feel that almost similar things are repeated in the UPSC mains. Now, coming to the other papers, for example, regarding geography, society, we will talk. But coming to ethics, so Harish, as you say, ethics, essay and optional high risk scoring, the reason is, ethics and essay, we no need to put as much effort as we put in GS1, 2 and 3. Still you can score very good marks, So Harish, tell us or tell the candidates what they should do in the next 2.5 months to score more in ethics without spending much time, because they have to balance between optional and general studies. Briefly analyze the trend of ethics and tell what we are doing and what they have to do for scoring more ethics.
Yes, sir. Sir, in the recent times, we are observing that the ethics questions are becoming more and more practical, as if similar to the issues that an actual officer faces in the field. Earlier, it used to be more theoretical approach, but now we are seeing that they are going to more on-ground case study approach. So earlier, the trend used to be, sir, people used to start with case studies and then come to the paper A, part A of the paper. But now we are observing that in the marking pattern, students who have attempted the part A, started with the part A and given more emphasis to the theory part of the paper are scoring more marks, because more or less all of the students are giving the same options in case studies. So it stopped being a differentiator, and now the differentiator in ethics paper is more of the part A, that is theoretical. So to do that, sir, what we are doing is in our mains mentorship program, we are ensuring that the student covers and understands all the ethical concepts, and instead of mugging up the ethical keywords, they are putting emphasis on using the correct set of principles, correct set of values in deciphering the keywords, and correct set of morals and ideals in the paper A of the part A of the paper, sir.
Like how Harish said, ethics, we focus on the keywords, the recent examples which were given for the concepts, because what are concepts asked in the examination, we have to give some kind of examples. Examples, if we give a current affairs, it actually gives a better understanding to the evaluator also, that we are able to understand ethics from the recent happenings around the world. So now, coming to Vasanthi also is UPSC ranker. She is with us. She evaluates the paper. She does mentorship. The next 2.5 months, UPSC Mains Mocks Booster Test Series Mentorship Program. She will also handle some subjects. So Vasanthi, as we teach to the students next 2.5 months, as we do mentorship one-to-one, as we evaluate their papers, based on your experience, what are the common areas you feel most of the students go wrong? And how do you actually ensure that they correct it?
Yes, sir. The first and foremost thing, like understanding the question. So, in general, most of the candidates, after clearing the prelims, they'll come and they'll just write, and whatever the static part, they'll just vomit it out with the facts and figures. So, without any understanding of the question. So, first we'll ask them in the mentorship, first we'll ask them, like, what is the, like, understand the question, what they are asking. That first thing we'll ask, and then we'll check the structure of the answer, like whether they are writing introduction, body and conclusion, that point. And third thing is yes, value addition is important. It is not just like for the sake of writing value addition. It is like UPSC will test us the depth of understanding and the conceptual knowledge about that question and that concept. So this value addition should substantiate your understanding. It is not just vomiting out of the facts and figures within the question. So these things, it is not about value addition. It should show that your depth of understanding. So these three things we'll focus on.
Exactly. Just those three things. Basically, you have to show through your answer that you understood the definition, important keywords, terms, in depth, and then, like how she said, many students just write down several facts and numbers, they try to vomit or dump whatever. Now, see Ajay, as you conduct the classes, as you take most of these next 2.5 months mains answer writing mocks booster program, as you conduct, you have a unique way of explaining the framework of answers, themes of answers, right? So, can you just give a glimpse of what are the things you explain in this program, so that the students who attend the program can improve their mocks in answer writing?
When we write any answer, I think our answer and what we have to write in that particular answer differs subject to subject. For example, when we are writing history answer or art and culture answer, we have to focus on at least three things should be there. Like, are we able to mention the period, which time it is happening? Are we able to mention some personality? And are we able to locate the place? So these 3P are important for the history. Similarly, when you come to the geography, the definition, the correct definition, for example, if they're asking the ocean current, if they're asking plate tectonic, we need to know the exact definition. There should be a map, there should be the concept of geography, not like the generally you are explaining. There should be the keyword, which should reflect like you are writing a geography answer. So those keywords and like that, every subject has certain things which should be there. Like if a geography professor is evaluating, what he or she might expect. If international relation faculty is evaluating, a professor is evaluating, what they will expect. So that is a very important part, sir, which is, I think, neglected in many of the programs. So that is one of the focus area in our class. Like we will tell, like in this subject, these things should be there in your answers. Now, second thing is that when we have a lot of content, what becomes important is the structuring of our points in a particular format, in a particular point, and that too in the prioritization manner, which I emphasized earlier. Now, when we say that the structuring, we not only train the students to structure into subheading, but also that subheading we try to help them to substructure. Substructure means, suppose they are writing like the socio-economic significance of, let's say, the socio-economic significance of let's say, the Harappan architecture, let's say. So now we will help them to structure that, like substructure, like the social, they will create the heading, and then the economic, like that. Similarly, for the different subject, we have created such a substructure in past.
Tell me about value addition. For example, economy answers, different value addition matters a lot. Tell me what are the common kinds of reports or names or papers or facts that generally you tell in the class to students to use, which you observed really helped you improve your scores.
Sir, that again will differ subject to subject. For example, let's take an example of polity. In polity, what type of value addition is required? Introduction should contain the constitutional origin of that particular concept. If it is asking about the President of India, it should contain the parts, in which part of Constitution President of India is mentioned, what is the article, like that. Now, second thing should be there, that one or two Supreme Court judgment should be mentioned there. Third is the quote by the Supreme Court judges or any constituent assembly member. Most commonly we quote Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Now, the fourth is the current affairs becomes very important. What things went in last 1 or 2 years related to the President of India, what contributes. So these are the four important, I think, the value addition point, which are, I think, a polity faculty will look for. Similarly, for ethics, different things are required, which are taught in our answer writing classes.
Particularly when we actually teach in the class, we make a list of some common 10 things that can be used in most of the answers, so that they can come handy to students. In the, for example, in economy, we tell them how to use SDGs. In almost every answer, SDGs can be used. And then white papers of different ministries can be used. And in polity, National Commission to review the working of Constitution, Justice and Judicial Commission can be used. And debates of Constitutional Assembly can be used. So similarly, Harish, I think in IR and ethics, what are the common things that we generally use?
Sir, for ethics, we generally go for second ARC reports. So in the second ARC report, we find a lot of good quotes related to probity in governance and related to the ethics in public life, etc. So other than that, for international relations also, sir, we can quote various UN Commission reports and the working principles of the UN Charter. So these are some of the standard sources that we can go for, sir. And in ethics also, sir, particularly the international ethics also, we can quote the similar ones like UN Charter or the principle of different UN missions and how they restore order. So these principles and morals, the more we quote, the better it is to make it from the ethical perspective, sir.
And it is very important. It's called as evidence-based approach. Whatever opinion or suggestion that we are giving as a student in the answer, it should arise out of a fact, evidence. You cannot just tell your opinions just freely floating in the air without any kind of evidence. And evaluators always like the candidates who substantiate their answer. That is the reason why in the 2.5 months mains boost program also, we give them such valuable information which they can use to build up the opinions. So, you have anything to add?
If you go through the previous year aspirants answer writing and all, so when they are explaining about a particular art and architecture regarding a particular dynasty, for example, you take the North India Nagara architecture. So they are explaining a Guptan art and architecture very well, everything about the organized structure and all in a free flow of answer writing, explaining in a very bullet points manner and all, explaining the Panchayatana style, no presence of the water tank, color Shamaladaka and all. But point here is they forgot to mention about what is the chief material used by the Guptans. So that should be the first thing, even though it looks very simple, but the point here is it should be definitely be mentioned. So they are mentioning each and everything, very important things are very much highlighted. Okay, agree. But what is the chief material used by the particular dynasty in order to patronize the art and architecture? They are forget to mentioning it. That is also a very essential point for the UPSC. Very much you have to emphasize on it. So, much key details should be very much, focusing on.
We should know, like how Ajay said, each subject evaluator needs a flavor. Economy answers has one kind of flavor, history one kind of flavor, geography. The flavor will be explained by us so that the candidate will know the points are same. But what kind of flavor you have to give for that subject is very important. That we will be training you in this 2.5 months, in fact. And Vasanthi, coming to essay writing, see Vasanthi till 23, essay writing scores very good now. Almost 140, 150 we used to score. But for the last 3-4 years, the scores are not so great. And essay writing for the last 3-4 years, the trends have changed. And now, however, many students don't practice essay writing much. they practice for 3 or 4 days only. So Ajay, tell us how they have to train themselves for essay writing so they can maximize the score in essay.
With the essay writing, the general approach of most of the aspirant is that the collection of quotes they think as the preparation for essay writing. I think that's the wrong approach. Instead, what is the most important in the essay writing is that taking the topic and brainstorming it. Like the brainstorming, even if you are not writing the full essay of 12 pages, but if you are able to create the structure of it by thinking about this topic becomes important. Now, why the brainstorming is important? Because generally the general market of the essay writing, how it is taught that pestle approach, like you have to expand the topic in polity, history, historical, economic, like that, but that is not fetching good marks, sir. That can give you the average mark, not very high marks. So this year I have substantially changed my approach, and I saw my improvement also. Last year I got 95 marks in 2023, this year 119 marks. So there is a huge difference I made in the essay writing. What made my essay different, and what I want to suggest to the aspirants who are going to write this year mains, is that generation of the natural arguments instead of going for the political, economic and social. Natural argument, when I say, that means that when the quote has given, for example, they have given truth knows no color, that is the essay topic. Now for that we generally go for the political dimension of it, economic dimension of it. Instead of it, if we are able to generate natural questions like the how truth knows no color, why truth knows no color, like that. So there can be the multiple dimension. For that, brainstorming helps. And then when you have run these brainstorming, then we need to have this practice of it. So our essay writing program, which we have launched also, there we conduct 4 classes. 2 are the fundamental, where we help them to do, and 2 where I myself write the essay with them, and then they compare their written essay with mine, and then there will be the explanation of that essay with the actual written essay, not like the model answer. So through that they learn to improve the essay writing, sir, the brainstorming part, as well as the how to generate more points, arguments, not like that standard structure.
Yeah, because essay writing demand is completely different from mains answer writing. That's the reason why, along with the expert faculty members, we always keep the recent rankers in the team, which actually trains the students in the next 2.5 months mains answer writing.
Sir, I want to add one more point regarding essay writing.
Yeah, please.
So maybe UPSC will surprise us with the conventional essays, like maybe something about food security, something about international water sharing. So people should not be very surprised also. People should be able to write even the conventional essays, not only the philosophical essays, but the conventional essays. For that, they need to keep some data. And the other thing I want to add is, sir, when people are going for value addition material, it is better if you go for very broad statistics. For example, maternal mortality index, instead of saying how many mothers are undergoing mortality in aspirational districts. So that is very narrow statistic. Instead of that, we should go for very broad statistics, which can be used at multiple places.
Yeah.
So that should be one strategy, sir.
Generally, any data that we collect for mains answer writing should be usable in multiple places, multiple papers.
Yes, and one last caution, sir. I want to give a caution to people who are writing mains for the first time or second time, because what happens is, sir, in the market, in the toppers, what they say is they focus a lot about value addition, about quotes. So in that dramabazi, we just tend to lose the demand of the question. Focus of the aspirants who are writing for the first time and the second time, their priority should be mainly on satisfying the demand of the question. They should not be running after the value addition material.
Because experts bring one kind of expertise to the table, whereas rankers bring in their experiences, how they improved the marks and what worked out for them. A combination of these two can only bring you very good marks in UPSC Mains. So make use of this program, friends. So take care, all the best.